Every morning, we sit down, type out a familiar string of characters, and hit enter. It is an automatic reflex. In that moment, the action feels entirely contained to your specific desk and your specific monitor. Yet this sequence of characters serves as the primary authentication step, the initial filter that determines who is allowed to enter the internal network. Treating this daily login as a mindless chore creates a psychological blind spot, and cybercriminals rely entirely on that blind spot. To understand the stakes, we have to look at what these credentials actually authorize. This single entry point branches into a massive ecosystem of sensitive data: HR records, internal communications, and financial files. Organizations spend millions on perimeter defenses to block intruders, but these systems are programmed to allow any user with valid credentials to pass through without resistance. Because your login bypasses these technical hurdles, your individual security habits act as the true frontline firewall for the company. Modern threat actors rarely spend their time writing complex code to break through those expensive firewalls. They target human habits, taking the path of least resistance. Often they start by guessing. They run automated programs that exploit our reliance on predictable patterns, like company names, simple keyboard sequences, or the current year. If guessing fails, they look for recycled credentials. A breach on a completely unrelated, low-security website can provide attackers with the exact login they need to access the secure corporate network. Then there is phishing. A user receives a convincing email, clicks a link, types credentials into a fake login page, and unknowingly springs the trap. Cybercriminals have shifted their strategy. They obtain legitimate access from employees rather than trying to force their way through encrypted servers. The successful breach is usually quiet. An attacker gains access to a single, seemingly low-level employee account, triggering absolutely no technical alarms. They weaponize that trust. Using compromised email, the attacker launches phishing messages that spread outward to colleagues. This lateral movement bridges individual inboxes with the central hub of shared systems. Finally, they deploy ransomware. The entire organization locks down, freezing operations. In a deeply connected digital ecosystem, a single weak password represents a dormant organizational crisis. Because this vulnerability begins with individual behavior, the power to stop the threat rests entirely in your hands. Start by using long passphrases, strings of several random words. Because computers try to crack codes by guessing every possible character combination, increasing the length of your login makes the number of possibilities so vast that it would take a machine decades to guess correctly. You must follow strict operational rules. Never reuse a passphrase across multiple accounts, and never write them down on physical media like sticky notes where they can be easily found. To remove the burden of remembering these long combinations, use a designated password manager. It stores your credentials securely in an encrypted vault. Finally, implement multi-factor authentication, or MFA. This adds a dynamic secondary check, stopping an attacker even if they manage to obtain your passphrase. By stacking these simple daily habits, you transform an easily bypassed entry point into a highly resilient, multi-layered defense system. Cybersecurity requires active, daily participation from every level of the workforce, not just the IT department. Taking a few seconds to secure your login credentials directly protects your colleagues, safeguards customer trust, and secures the operational future of the company. Your password is more than a simple login. It is your first digital defense. Protect it, strengthen it, and never share it.